Hello everyone, it's Henry again, and we're coming at you again with another SOLIDWORKS tutorial. So, I've been stumped. We were gonna have a Sunday video, we were gonna have a Monday video, but it looks like we might have a Tuesday or Wednesday video. Because I don't know the best way of going about it, but I'm gonna try my best is what I'm gonna say now. I said in the last video we're going to go over sketches and some light extruding features and kind of how to modify features. But I realized that's a lot harder of a subject to tackle than I first thought, because there's so many layers to things and so many options and different things that you can apply and so many concepts. It's just a little challenging, you know. So what we're going to go over right now is we're going to make a block and we're going to put some holes in it. So we're going to start a new part. Okay. So today we're just gonna go over the sketches. So I encourage you to start using your gestures because they're just easy to use. You gotta create the sketch first. So I'm gonna use my quick controls. Top plane. Oh, created the sketch. Obviously, so if you were just opening the part, you would see this. So go to sketch and then create a sketch. Select whatever plane you want to start on, and that's how you're gonna start your sketch. So yeah. We're going to create a block, so you can either go with a 2-point triangle, or... Oh, triangle, that's not a triangle. A rectangle, or you can go center point so it locks onto the origin. Very fun. And then we can dimension it. 3, and then I'm just going to make this 2. So look, we have a lovely looking rectangle there, not a triangle. Not a triangle. Now, in the sketch tab, there's tons of things you can do. The amount of tools and features and things you can trim entities, so I can just go trim that one face. I can trim things that lock it squares. Now I can go like, oh, that would get rid of the dimensions. But I can grab these and now extend them and do weird funky things. So you can convert entities offset, so if I wanted to offset the triangle, I can offset it. So I can like offset it 2 inches, and then I can reverse, or I can reverse it in. So yeah, there's tons of lovely features. Move entities, linear patterns. So if I just like wanted to do a pattern, we're going to do a circular pattern. So parameters, we're just going to select this edge, and then entities to 0.1. There we go. So now we can get that triangle to repeat itself around that point. So there's tons of different little things we can do. We can do a linear one, so basically on an axis or on a line you can repeat stuff. You can mirror it over a mirror plane, and that's just in sketches. You can do most of this stuff with features as well, so we'll get into that. So tons of lovely things in sketches. There's constraints, so this is fixed. If the triangle, let's just like I lay down a triangle, if it's fixed to nothing and there's nothing dimensioning it, it's blue, meaning it can be moved around and what have you. I can grab the whole thing and just move it wherever I want. If it's fixed, it can't be moved. I can grab the sides and it won't move. If I do this and I snap it to the origin, it's still able to move, but I can't move it off of it. If it's not fixed to anything, let's just say, because it doesn't apply to the origin, it can apply to just any point. I can fix it to that point and it won't move off this point. But you can drag it to any point and lock it onto that point. There's also midpoints of lines, which just happens to be that center. I can lock it to the midpoint. It locks that feature and it gives it a constraint. You can also tap things and you can give it constraints like equal, so these will be the equal length. And then I can tap this line and this one and then make them equal as well, making this over-defined. Lovely. We're gonna unselect. Always make sure that you're selecting the right things before you start making things equal, or else bad things happen. You get a bunch of errors. So let's just say I wanted this line parallel with that line. Even though it already is, you can force it to be parallel, so that constraint is like this. These lines will always be parallel. If you want them to be collinear, you can tap that too, and that forces this to be collinear with that. So even though this triangle can move around, it will always be collinear. Like, you can see me, oh, I gotta drag it. You can see me trying to drag my mouse this way. It's not going to do that. Before, I had the collinear, so let's get rid of that collinear constraint. Before, I can drag it anywhere, but as soon as I do this and say collinear, can't drag it sideways. I can drag it up and down because it'll be still collinear and all that fun stuff. So you can mess around with these. You can fix triangles, so even if they don't have a dimension or anything, they'll stay the same. Tons of other ones, so like you can look at the conditionings and all that. I'm pretty sure, and they'll pop up which ones you can use and which ones you can't use, so that's very helpful, so it prevents you from making mistakes before they happen. So yeah, those are some conditionings. Okay, enough with the conditionings of certain sketch objects and stuff. We're going to get into a little bit of features. So the most basic feature is extrude. So this will, obviously since I only had one body that could be extruded, or one face that could be extruded, it auto-selected that. But if you have multiple faces, it won't auto-select it, but yeah. So we're just going to make this 1 inch tall. And so this is the extruding menu here, so you can select from where to where, and then select the distance if it's blind, or even if it's off of something. And then you can do stuff like thin features, directions, the draft, and whatever, but we're going to focus on this for now. We're just going to make this block 1 inch tall. Now we're going to throw some holes in it. So now sketches can be not just on planes. Oh, sketches can also be on surfaces. So I want it to be on the surface. So now I'm going to, there we go. Now it's going to time to create some circles. I'm just going to make some baby circles, and then I'm going to use the same conditionings that we talked about, and I'm going to make these circles equal, and then I'm going to dimension one of them. I don't know, 0.5. That's a chunky circle. And then what I can do is select these points. Oh, that's dimensioning those points. I can select the points and make them horizontal. Look at that! And now if I do this, I centered them all up. Isn't that nifty? And now if I do this, and then I can dimension these to the side. And, oh, there we go. So basically what I did there is I used constraints. Basically I set them all to be on the vertical or the horizontal axis compared to the sketch, and then I dimensioned them all equal and then gave one of them a size to clean up the sketch. And then I got a little messier here with dimensioning them on the x-axis itself, but it's not too terribly complex. And then we're going to select this again. So before we had nothing and we were extruding off of it. If we want to cut into this object, like say we're going to cut into it, we can do extrude cut. And we're going to select the circles that we want to extrude cut. So now you can see that we have blind, and that's perfectly fine if you just wanted to extrude up through and then you select a certain amount. But there's these lovely ones up to surface, or offset from surface, so offsetting from the surface, through all both, so that's gonna go through all the features both ways, and that's the one I typically use, especially if it's just one part. Through all, yeah, so I just through all both, select it, and then woo, we have some 1/2 inch holes in a block. Very cool. So now what if we want to say that we wanted this block to be a little bit more user friendly, a little bit less sharp? We're going to give it some chamfers. So by selecting the chamfer tool, what I can do is we're going to work on manually selecting for now, because apparently I can't even do my auto selecting. So if you select the face, if I can zoom in correctly, if you select the face, it'll allow you to chamfer all of the edges. And we're just going to give this part a basic chamfer. So we've selected all the faces now, and we're going to give it a full preview so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to go 0.01. And that's a baby little chamfer. Maybe we'll go a little more exciting. 0.03. That's pretty exciting. That's a nice little chamfer. It's good. And we'll make sure that we select everything. And why isn't this one? There we go. And now we have this lovely little block with chamfers on it. Basically, a chamfer is just a cut. You can adjust the angle of the cut, whether it's like 45 degrees, 80 degrees, what have you. A fillet is just a round over. So there's like deburring tools that you can actually use to fillet. I would highly suggest against that. They're mainly for just deburring off after machining. But they can be useful for just taking off that edge to help a bearing slide in and stuff. But if you like chamfers, I'm not going to shame you. But anyways, those are some... There I go again. Just messing up everything. Now we can just kind of use whole wizard, I guess. This video is going to be terrible to edit together. Oh my god. So you guys can experiment with all of these tools on your own. It's quite cool. Like if I just went like this and I selected this, and I went... I have shelled it. So like there's tons of cool tools like the shelling tool, so it just shelled everything. So like you can see that there's this like just inner walls. It's almost like kind of like a 3D printing software. What it does is it adds the wall thickness around everything, and then you have infill in between everything else. I don't know, that's a really bad example. But I would highly suggest just messing around with a lot of these tools and finding ways of doing stuff. Like Whole Wizard's a very powerful one. It's basically you just select, you create one circle, or typically it'll prompt you to, and then basically you can create a whole pattern with threads or at a very particular size or whatever specified for what you need, and it's just very convenient. And there's tons of other sketch stuff that I would suggest messing with, and there's, yeah, lots of fun tools. So, that's it from me today. I hope this video wasn't too bad. I mean, it's pretty rough. I just can't think of any other way of showing you guys. I hope to be getting more into just mainly FRC design, because CAD there's tons of tutorials out there, but I just want to lay the base work down, and then we'll start designing parts, and then that's when we'll actually start getting into using CAD in the FRC realm mainly, and that's probably where you're going to pick up most of how you do CAD, because I will be going over all of the tools in there too. And I'm learning SOLIDWORKS currently as well. It's not like I'm just a professional, definitely not. I came from using Fusion and I'm in SOLIDWORKS now, so bear with me through the moments where I don't know what I'm doing or something's not going exactly how I thought it was going to. But I just really want to teach everyone on my team and any other team who wants to know how to use SOLIDWORKS, especially with FRC, and how it can benefit your game. Because the benefits are just extreme, and the amount of space configuration you can do, and the advantageous design and everything. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. If you didn't like it, you also know what to do. Check out our merch store, flash on screen. Let's start the sponsors rolling as well. Yeah. So, thank you to our sponsors very much for helping us through these tough times, making sure that we can have a robotics team to come back to after this. And I look forward to 2021 season, so hopefully before then. This is just me ranting at this point. Rambling and ranting and all of that. We'll be going over some designs for some power cell shooters, some climbers of different kinds, intakes and stuff, and that's hopefully some of the videos will be centered on. And I hope some teams will pull some good stuff out of that, as well as our designers on our team. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. This should have been plenty of time to roll sponsors and stuff. Have any questions, comments, have any questions you want to ask over email flash on screen, merch store link in description, website link in description, and yeah, I think that's it. This has been a bad video. I'm sorry guys, I'll try my best next time.